Anything that surprised you these first two games in the NBA?
I wouldn't say anything that surprised me. You know, I feel like the league, the NBA definitely has like a higher tempo, a higher speed when it comes to the style of play. But you know, that's what I've been looking for. I feel like I would be able to fit that very well and just trying to build off that.
They wanted you to stay out of foul trouble and all that. How's that working out for you?
Just got to be able to know that, you know, if I'm switching onto a guard, you know, I got to be able to know I'm defending with my feet, not my hands. Being able to know I'm not trying to reach out, trying to steal. Or I got to be able to know what type of defensive posture I got to take. And at the same time, being able to know, like, help, when not to help, when the 3-second calls, being able to be in and out of the 2-9, just being able to try to adapt to the game as quick as possible.
Part of that adaptation is that in the NBA, opposing coaches will use drastically different lineups, and then last night they ran in the smaller lineup. What's the biggest adjustment for you on that, like when smaller lineups are out there?
Well, usually I'm always low, just being able to know that I have my defender behind me who's in the dunker running up to set a screen, but now my defender was all the way out in the wing, so it just kind of has I'm in a different stance, I'm in a different positioning. It's harder for me to protect the rim and still be able to get out and X out of my man or X out to the wing. So we're just going to be able to just take reps and repetition to be able to get it down.
And obviously, Dwight came in, and that lineup was effective. Did you learn anything from watching Dwight?
Yeah, just Dwight's, he was always poised. You know, he's always trying to put himself in the right positioning for people to be able to know that they have to honor him while not being able to, step to Kyrie and Luka. And I feel like he did an amazing job. And, I was asking him after about a few things, so just being able to try to pick his brain.
D-Love, your connection with Luka and Kyrie is obviously strong through 2 games. Could you talk about your bond with them and how you've grown as a player and their fit with them as well?
It really just comes down to repetition. We've been able to be practicing for a couple weeks now, being able to know their timing, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, and just being able to just get them out of a pinch. If they're getting doubled, I got to flash, and if someone goes under on the screen, I'm a re-screen so that they can get back downhill to get to the rim or get to the shot that they need to. Just being able to understand their games is really what's going to come down to by the end of the year.
What's the biggest difference when you're playing with both of them?
Kyrie's definitely going to hit me a lot more pocket passes, and Kyrie's game is a little bit more quicker. But you just got to be able to just match Luka's tempo, which is kind of different. He's a slow player, but he's going to be able to get downhill, get to a position, and he's got to be ready for the ball.
You did more switching yesterday with facing a smaller lineup, and you seem to fare pretty well. What has helped you succeed in those situations so far as you adjust to them?
Just being able to know I got to move my feet. It really comes down to just staying low, not getting caught standing up, and always have my head on a swivel. There's a lot of people who's going to do, whenever they small lineups, they're going to pick and pop, they're going to try to go screen, and they're going to just try to throw a lot of different actions at me because I'm new. But I always got to stay on my toes and be able to be ready to talk to my teammates and be able to just try to help my defenders out.
I guess if you look at it like a center by committee, game one between you and Maxey, you guys had 22 points and 17 rebounds. And last night it was 20 points and 9 rebounds. How's that working out?
Just being able to, we're a 1-2 punch. There's sometimes we're going to be in the game together, and there's sometimes we're going to be subbing for each other. So just being able to know that whenever we come into the game, we got to bring up our pressure, we got to bring up our intensity, and we got to do a lot of more things that the guards can't do down low. So we got to clean things up down low, and that's our job.
One of the things about adjusting to the NBA, at least I would think as a young player, is you're stepping onto such much of a bigger stage.
Sure.
So I wondered, what you noticed, your play in San Antonio went viral. I mean, people were all over social media going crazy about your play. And then same thing last night with Luka's shot. Mm-hmm. Anything that's jumped out at you about being a part of that?
I mean, it's the biggest stage. You got to have it's a filled arena almost every time you play basketball. So you got to be able to know that you can't make you got to make as little mistakes as possible. You got to be on your edges at all times. You got to be ready for whenever your number's called. You got to be ready for everything that they throw at you because they're out there. They know you. They know what you like to do. They know what you don't like to do. So they're going to try to game plan for you. So you got to be able to anticipate that and be ready for that.
Did you notice the fan reaction to your play?
No, not really.
What others were saying about your play?
In San Antonio?
Yeah.
I really try to stay off of social media comments because they're going to see me do something well and they're going to praise me, and as soon as I do something wrong, they're going to hate me. So we're just going to be able to know that I'm gonna do whatever I need to do, and that's my job to finish plays, and that's what I can do for sure.
You've probably heard a lot about Luka. What did you think of that shot last night?
Luka magic, it's real. It's definitely real. We've seen a lot of crazy shots in practice, but that one probably takes the cake so far. So you got to be able to know that, and in the game situations, he's gonna do his little magic, and you got to be able to be either clean it up or cheer him on whenever you make it.
What kind of reaction you got from Tyson these first 2 games?
He's always he's praising me, but he's also making sure that he's on every mistake that I possibly can make. You know, he's always trying to teach me what's the right positioning, what's the right footwork, what's the right timing, and just being able to just try to do like the little key things. Because you know, if I see someone going the double, one of our main guards, I got to be able to flash. But at the same time, if I see one of my guards posting up and he's about to shoot it, I got to get in a position to box out earlier rather than seeing the shot go up and then box out. So just being able to just time reading the ball, its defender, and then two other people. It's just something I'm just trying to be able to just expand on, because that's going to make my life easier and my job easier.
What are you anticipating for Memphis? At least you don't have to worry about Steven Adams.
You know, I feel like they're a really good team. You know, they have a lot of shooters, they have a lot of ability to get at the rim, and I feel like they have a lot of physicality. So you got to be able to game plan for that. You got to be able to game plan for being able to just help off of my man and still be able to get back so he doesn't get to where he needs to do.
When teams go small, what is most important for you offensively? We talked about defensively, but what do you think about offensively in this
You know, I feel like whenever teams go small, that means you're going to switch a lot more. So to be able to, you know, pick and slip. Whenever I'm setting picks, I got to slip out of them quicker. And being able to just space. You know, there's going to be times where I'm going to duck down low, open up and seal. But if they're not going to hit me, I got to hit to the dunker and be able to be ready for either the offensive board or dump off for a lot.
You talked about the court things that you've been working with Tyson on. What's been his biggest advice to you off the court?
You know, it's a long season. You know, you got to be able to just make sure that you're locked in the entire time. You know, there's going to be a lot of voices talking to you. There's going to be a lot of people trying to reach out, trying to make you do things, trying to make you appear in different places. But you got to be able to make sure that you're doing your number one job, and that's being able to focus on what you're doing on the court and get better. And that's what we've been trying to do, and that's what we're focusing on.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.